If you're over 60 and you've started to notice that your body feels different at the end of the day, maybe your legs don't feel as steady, your muscles seem softer than before, or your joints ache a little more each night, I want you to stop and listen carefully, because what I'm about to share with you might surprise you. Most people think that losing muscle and dealing with stiff, painful joints is just part of aging, something inevitable, something you have no control over. But let me ask you this, if it were truly inevitable, then why do some men and women in their 70s still walk strong, carry their groceries with ease, and even dance at their grandchildren's weddings, while others struggle just to get out of a chair? The difference is not luck, it's not good genes. It often comes down to small, daily habits, the kind most people overlook. And tonight, I want to talk to you about one of the simplest habits of all, your evening tea. Yes, that cup of tea you may already drink before bed, the warm, calming ritual that helps you wind down at night. What if I told you that adding just one simple ingredient to that tea could actually protect your muscles from wasting away and ease the very joint pain that so many seniors silently live with every single day? Strange, isn't it? Something as ordinary as tea could hold a key to stronger muscles and healthier joints after 60. But as a physician who has worked with older adults for more than 35 years, I can tell you, it's often these small, overlooked changes that make the biggest difference. Now, before we get into what that ingredient is, let me introduce myself properly. My name is Dr. William Harris. I'm a urologist by training, but over the decades, I've also specialized deeply in nutrition and senior health. Because what I've learned is that health, especially after 60, isn't about one organ or one system. It's about the whole person. It's about how your muscles, your bones, your hormones, your circulation, even your digestion, all work together. And when just one part falls behind, the rest begin to follow. I've sat across from countless men and women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who tell me the same quiet worry: "Doc, I feel like I'm shrinking. I don't feel strong anymore." And often, they look for big solutions, expensive supplements, complicated exercise machines, sometimes even surgeries. But in reality, one of the most powerful tools they have is already in their kitchen. So let me ask you, when was the last time you thought about your evening tea as a form of medicine? Not just a way to relax, but as a way to fight back against sarcopenia, that's the medical term for muscle loss with age, and to soothe those aching joints that keep you up at night. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what this ingredient is, why it works, and how you can start using it tonight. And trust me, once you understand the science behind it, you'll never look at your cup of tea the same way again. You know, when I was in my 40s, I thought strength was something I could always count on. I played tennis, I jogged, I carried heavy things without a second thought. But by the time I reached 60, I started to notice something. Not that I suddenly became weak overnight. No, it was subtler than that. Climbing stairs felt heavier. Sitting down and then getting back up took a bit more effort. My hands trembled a little when holding grocery bags. And I began hearing the same quiet confession from my patients, men and women just like you: "Doc, I don't feel like myself anymore. I feel like my strength is slipping away." What they were describing has a name in medicine: sarcopenia. When your muscles begin to leave you, what troubles me most about sarcopenia isn't just the shrinking of muscle fibers. It's what comes with it. When your muscles fade, you don't just lose strength. You lose independence, dignity, and confidence. Think about the little things: opening a jar, carrying a bag of groceries, picking up your grandchild. When your muscles are strong, these are moments of joy. When they weaken, those same moments can turn into obstacles, frustrations, even risks. I'll never forget Robert, a 71-year-old former tennis player. Just one slip in the bathroom changed his life. A fractured hip, months in bed. But what crushed him most wasn't the injury. It was the feeling of helplessness. He whispered to me, "I never thought I'd need my daughter to help me put on my pants." That's the true cost of sarcopenia. Not just frailty, but the quiet erosion of pride. And then there are the joints. If your muscles are the engine, your joints are the hinges, and past 60, many of those hinges begin to squeak, ache, and lock up. Patients often tell me, "Doc, my knees feel rusty every morning." Why? Because inside your body, a slow, invisible fire burns. Chronic inflammation. It doesn't roar like an acute injury, but it smolders day and night, breaking down cartilage, stiffening your joints, making every movement less fluid. Linda, a 68-year-old patient of mine, once told me through tears, "I used to love gardening, but now, just kneeling to pull a weed makes my knees scream in pain. I feel like I've lost a piece of myself," and maybe you felt something similar. Not just physical pain, but the loss of joy, the loss of freedom. But here's the good news. None of this is a death sentence. You don't have to surrender to the idea that this is just aging. That phrase, more than any disease, is what steals hope from people. The truth is, science shows us we can slow this down. We can ease the pain, and sometimes the solutions aren't big or complicated. Sometimes they're small, ordinary, hiding in plain sight, like your evening cup of tea. Tea, more powerful than you think. Picture this. The day is done. You've carried the weight of the hours in your body, the tiny tears in your muscles, the stiffness in your joints, the fatigue in your bones. And you sit down with a warm cup of tea in your hands. That tea is more than a comfort. It's an opportunity to give your body what it needs for the night's repair. Now, what if I told you that adding just one golden ingredient into that tea could quiet inflammation, protect your muscles, and soothe your aching joints, all while you sleep? That ingredient is turmeric. Turmeric, nature's golden gift. Turmeric has been used for centuries in India and Southeast Asia, not just as a spice, but as a medicine, and the reason is one compound: curcumin. Curcumin is like a gentle firefighter inside your body. It finds the smoldering flames of inflammation and cools them down. When inflammation decreases, muscles aren't broken down as quickly, joints don't swell as much, movement becomes smoother. Modern research backs this up, and study after study, curcumin has been shown to reduce joint pain, even performing as well as some anti-inflammatory drugs, but without many of the harsh side effects. Let me tell you about Eleanor, 74. She had lived with knee pain for years. Getting out of bed each morning meant 10 minutes of rubbing her knees. Before she could take a single step, I suggested she add half a teaspoon of turmeric powder with a pinch of black pepper into her chamomile tea at night. A month later, she came back to me with tears in her eyes, but this time they were happy ones. "Doc, I walked to the park with my friend this morning. No cane, no limp, just me walking freely." That's the power of this golden root. Why nighttime matters. Some might be wondering, why tea at night? Why not in the morning? Because nighttime is when your body heals. While you sleep, your muscles rebuild, your joints repair, your tissues recover by giving your body curcumin. Before bed, you're fueling that natural restoration process. It's like handing your repair crew better tools just before they clock in for their shift. And when you wake up, you feel lighter, less stiff, stronger. Adding friends to the cup: ginger, cinnamon, honey. No, not everyone loves the earthy taste of turmeric. That's okay. You can invite some companions into your cup: a slice of ginger to warm your joints and improve circulation, a sprinkle of cinnamon to steady your blood sugar and protect muscle, a drop of honey to soothe your throat and boost your immunity. But remember, the star of the show is turmeric. These others simply make the symphony sweeter. How to begin tonight? There's all you need: a cup of your favorite herbal tea, chamomile, mint, or whatever helps you unwind. Half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, a small pinch of black pepper. Don't skip this. It increases curcumin absorption 20-fold. Optional: ginger, cinnamon, honey to taste. Stir it in. Sip slowly about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Don't expect miracles overnight. Healing takes time. But give it a few weeks and you may notice mornings becoming easier. Less stiffness, less pain, more strength in your step. Now, let me ask you, do your joints ache more at night, stealing your sleep? Would you like to wake up tomorrow with legs that feel steadier, muscles that feel stronger? Are you willing to try something simple, something right there in your kitchen, to give yourself that chance? Because this isn't about tea. It's about hope, about dignity, about proving to yourself that aging doesn't have to mean decline. The message I want you to carry: your health after 60 is not about surrender. It's about stewardship. It's about caring for your body in small, wise ways. And sometimes that wisdom begins with something as humble as a cup of tea and a spoonful of golden turmeric. So let's take a step back for a moment. We've talked about sarcopenia, that quiet thief of muscle that creeps in with age. We've talked about joints that ache, stiffen, and steal away your freedom. And we've talked about how something as simple, as ordinary, as your evening cup of tea can be transformed into a tool for healing with just a spoonful of golden turmeric. Now, I want you to really imagine this with me. Tomorrow morning, you swing your legs out of bed. Instead of groaning as your knees resist, you notice they feel just a little looser. Instead of struggling to stand, you rise with more ease. And as you take those first few steps, you think, maybe, just maybe, I'm stronger than I thought. That's the gift I want for you. Not just less pain, not just more strength, but hope. The hope that your body is still on your side. Even after 60, the hope that small choices, repeated faithfully, can bring back energy, mobility, and dignity. Because here's the truth. Aging is not about giving up. It's about adapting wisely, and wisdom often looks like this. Noticing the little things, nurturing the small habits, refusing to believe the lie that decline is your only future. I've sat with too many patients who came to me convinced they were finished, and I've seen the spark in their eyes when they realized they weren't. That spark came not from expensive machines, not from miracle pills, but from simple, natural practices they could do every day. And that's what I'm inviting you to today. Not a miracle, not a quick fix, but a practice, a ritual. 1 cup of tea, 1 spoon of turmeric, 1 quiet act of self-care each evening, building into a stronger, steadier tomorrow. So let me ask you, from one friend to another, will you give it a try? Will you take that first sip tonight, not just for your joints, not just for your muscles, but for yourself, for the life you still want to live, the independence you still want to hold, the moments with family you don't want to miss, because, trust me, you are not old, and it is not too late. Your story isn't finished. If you're ready to try, I'd love for you to tell me in the comments below. Type the number 1 if you're going to stir turmeric into your tea tonight. Type the number 2 if you'd like me to share more healing tea recipes in future videos. I read every comment. Your words matter to me. And if you found this message helpful, please share it with someone you care about. A brother, a sister, a neighbor, a friend, someone who might need a little hope in their own journey. Finally, don't forget to subscribe, because this channel isn't just about health tips. It's about building a community, a place where we remind each other that life after 60 can still be vibrant, strong, and deeply meaningful. I'm Dr. William Harris. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of your body, cherish your health, and remember, sometimes the path to strength is as simple as a warm cup of tea at night.